and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick, with the City of Hampton's Communications and Marketing Department. And today we're going to focus on art and talk about a new art exhibit at the Charles Taylor Gallery. My guest, a frequent visitor, is James Warwick Jones. James, thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you for having me. I always enjoy it.
I love the way we get to bring art and that descriptions and depth that you bring to the picture to sort of personally tell people what they can see in your new show.
Sort of like a little guided tour, yeah.
It's fabulous. And it's also fabulous that you do new exhibits almost every 6 weeks. I have no idea how you keep that pace up.
It keeps us busy.
I bet it does.
But it's fun also.
Well, and it's great for residents and for tourists that there's almost always a new exhibit.
That's right, yeah.
So tell us what this current exhibit is.
Well, it's called Word, and it's artworks that are including, inspired by, or related to the written word. So it encompasses a lot of different things. There are artworks that have literal descriptions of signs in a business, for example. There are books, there are book covers, illustrations, works inspired by literature. So it's a diverse show, and a lot of different media too, drawing, painting, photography, sculpture, crafts. Where
did the idea come from for this?
Well, I guess it's something that I see in work that comes in for other exhibitions, sort of in this theme. So I thought it would be interesting to do an exhibition focusing just on that.
That's so cool.
Which is the way some of the exhibitions happen, the theme exhibitions.
And I see you're wearing a shirt today that goes with the theme.
Well, I was trying to think of what to wear today, and that seemed appropriate. When I'm teaching a class, one of the things I ask the students is, where does your eye go when you look at your painting? Because in art, you want to make an exciting design that's exciting and interesting to look at, but you also want to create harmony and unity. So if one of the elements, a shape or a color, a value or whatever, is too dominant in the painting, your eye tends to go to that. So it's a question I ask my students, actually.
Right. Like you might mean for it to. You might want people's eyes to go there.
There are books and videos you can buy on creating a focal point in art.
Right.
So there are different perspectives on it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's put your first piece up and let's talk about that.
Okay. This is a work by Willard Gellis, who lives in Fox Hill. Willard's an interesting character. He looks a little bit to me like Walt Whitman. Gray beard, long hair, he almost always wears a hat. And he's a visual artist. He and his wife are actually both visual artists, painters and printmakers. But he's also a poet, a published poet. So he's holding a book.
So it's a self-portrait.
Fits in the theme. It's a self-portrait. He's holding a book, probably of his poetry. And in the show, we also have some book covers of his books of poetry that he's done. He does his own book covers and artwork and illustrations.
Wow, that's interesting. That's a front-to-back artist.
Exactly, very talented. The next piece is by Christy Harris. It's what we call an accordion book, which is a very simple type of book, just folds up like an accordion, opens and closes. And Christy, when she first came here from, I think, Pennsylvania, she was doing a series of paintings of supermarkets. So it would be a supermarket aisle with stacks of boxes of soda or the cereal aisle or something. Very colorful, but they also included visual images. So we also have several different types of books in the exhibition. And these are primarily artist books. They're unique, one of a kind usually. We have one piece that was done by a mature artist who did a book as a project in school for graphic design, designing a book with silkscreen prints. The next piece is sort of a travel journal. Meera Rao, who lives in Pocosin, is a native of India. She goes back to India at least once or twice a year to visit her mother. And while she's there, she tries to keep a journal every day with an image that she sees, and then there are notes on it also. So for example, the one in this exhibition, and we'll probably cycle through the pages so you can see different images each week or so, is an image of cows grooming a cow. So there's a cow seated, and the crows are picking the insects off the cow. So you have kind of I guess it's a symbiotic relationship there.
Right.
But they're very colorful and interesting things you wouldn't normally see in Hampton.
Well, and what's also interesting about that particular thing, that sketchbook, is it's a little bit inspiring maybe to beginning artists or to people who don't think of themselves as artists to stop and say, okay, it wouldn't be that good, but that is something I could do. That is a way of being an artist for yourself, maybe, not necessarily for other people. But I think people could look at that and think, oh, you know, that's accessible even at my level. Maybe not my level, but for a lot of people.
Well, almost everybody takes photographs when they take a trip. An artist, in addition to that, sometimes keep a journal. But it's something that really anybody could do, and a nice kind of a memoir of the trip or a memory of the trip that you capture.
Yeah, and how the words and the images work together.
Exactly, and the notebook has notes that she's taken describing the different scenes. The next piece is a more literal interpretation of the theme. Curtis Ely is from Southside. It's interesting, several of these people are multi-talented. Curtis is also a very talented musician, but he's doing a wonderful series of pastels, very colorful. They're usually urban scenes, city streets, buildings, and because of that, oftentimes they have signs. If you think about riding down Mercury Boulevard, everywhere you look there are signs. And he uses that as a design element in his paintings or in his drawings. Very colorful.
And now that is one, let's talk about where your eye goes in that painting. Because the way the lights are, I sort of saw that before I saw the words, and then the words kind of fill in around that.
Yeah, the impact of his work actually is quite abstract. You have these planes of very bright colors, intense colors. Sometimes they're night scenes with night lighting or dramatic lighting during the day. So you have very strong color. The words might be a secondary image, but add an interesting detail, kind of draw eye also. Yeah. And the next piece this is actually a kimono. It's kind of a multicultural show, actually, as I think about it.
Yeah.
But
that really reflects our area.
Right,
it
does.
So many people aren't from here or have different backgrounds, have landed here because of the military or for a whole variety of reasons.
Exactly.
And it's nice that you showcase that.
Right. Well, they're very talented artists here, and they, like you say, they come from all over. This piece, Carolyn Garrett is an art historian, also a traveler. And most artists, when they travel, they want to go and see the culture, they want to see the people, they want to see the museums, the architecture. So this is a piece, it's actually a full-size kimono.
Oh, wow.
But instead of fabric, it's made of cloth. Instead of made out of paper, excuse me. And very colorful. And on this paper, she does rubbings of different relief sculptures she might encounter on her trips. So it's also kind of a travel guide, but it has, again, words in it, the names of these different places.
Very different.
Yeah, very nice. And the last piece we're going to look at actually was in another show. We were talking about how do I get ideas for shows, and this was by Donna Pike, who's a public school teacher, and it's actually a ceramic sculpture. There are, I think, three different circular shapes, like O's. She was thinking about them as like links on a chain, but I guess when I was looking at it, I was thinking about this show, so they became O's. So she's doing actually a special piece just for this exhibition. One of the things I do, and we'll have over 100 pieces in the show and probably close to 100 artists, when I'm getting together a list of artists I want to invite to participate, sometimes I'll immediately think of an artist whose work fits the theme already. At the same time, sometimes I will like to invite another artist, maybe that this is a little bit outside their comfort zone, and see what they can come up with. So it'll be an interesting show, I think.
So how far in advance do you work? Like the idea for this show and the invitations went out approximately how long ago?
Well, the idea for the show has been germinating, I guess, for a few years. The exhibition schedule at Charles H. Taylor we do over a year in advance. And unfortunately, because we do so many shows, I'm working sort of on those just a few exhibitions ahead once I have the concept. So it's a long process. And artists are not the most business-like people. They're very creative. And so we have a lot of the images already in advance of the show. And then I also have artists that I want to include in the show. and I know they're going to do something exciting. So sometimes we don't know until delivery day what's coming in. So it's an interesting process.
You know, that is interesting about the creative process is some people work ahead and have those ideas, and then there's us deadline people
Right.
who can be creative in a moment of panic
Right.
or when they have to hit that deadline.
Artists seem to be in that second group mostly.
Really?
Yeah. But it'll be an interesting show. I wanted to mention also our classes. We've got a summer schedule of classes coming up soon.
And you said you teach 2 classes, or are currently. I guess your schedule
3.
varies. Okay.
Teach 3 painting classes, and those students work in oil, acrylic, or watercolor. We also have watercolor classes, drawing, photography, children's classes. In the summer, we have special week-long classes for the kids since they're out of school.
So it's kind of like a day camp thing for a week.
Little mini camp. They're
That's
4
nice.
days a week and a different subject. So in the summer, we have a lot of classes for the kids.
And what age range is
Those
that?
are ages 6 to 12. And we sometimes have teenagers that are interested in classes. Sometimes we'll, with the permission of the instructor, have those in the adult drawing or painting classes. So they're really for all ages over 6.
All right, and the prices on those vary.
They do, based on some of the classes are just a 1-day workshop for maybe 2.5 or 3 hours. Some of them run for 10 or 12 weeks. So it's always dependent on, how many hours and, what kind of instruction they have.
And that's those are small classes. It's a almost a one-on-one kind of instruction that those instructors really give people individual feedback.
We do have small class enrollments, usually no more than 12, sometimes just 5 or 6 students. So individual instruction is a big plus for those classes.
And where do those meet? I mean, those are right in the gallery. Well, I think there's rooms upstairs
we
too.
have a wonderful studio upstairs for some of the classes. The yoga class is right in the gallery, so you're surrounded by the art, which is a nice atmosphere. And also some of the drawing classes or photography classes we set up in the gallery after hours for our evening classes. We have classes during the day, Saturday and Sunday and evening, so almost any time of the day we'll have a class going on.
And that's neat because, you can walk in sometimes to see an exhibit and then you also see artists at work.
Exactly. It's fun for the visitors to see that happening too.
Yeah, I enjoyed that last time I was there.
Yeah.
And so recap where you are and what your hours are.
Okay, we're at 4205 Victoria, which is right adjacent to the main library.
And
We
the old
actually share
library for
the
people
old
who've
library.
been around here for a while.
Exactly. And we're open Tuesday through Friday, 10 to 6, 1 to 5 on Saturday and Sunday, closed on Monday.
And admission is?
Free.
It's the best deal in town.
There you
It
go.
really is. You can wander through there quickly, or take your time.
Right.
Just do the downstairs or just do the upstairs and pop in. It's a great lunch break. It's a nice thing to do when you have out of town visitors.
We have people from all over.
Yeah, you do. And that's, one of the things I think the arts helps provide is another attraction downtown and your network of people within Hampton Roads and really all the way to Richmond, from Richmond all the way to the beach and in between, pulls in a lot of people and a lot of attention for Hampton.
Yep. Our focus on the artists primarily is Hampton Roads, but all the 7 cities. In most of the shows, we have representatives from all over Tidewater in the shows, the artist.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, and I hope you'll come back again with future exhibits. This
Look
is
forward to it.
wonderful to be able to see.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. I should get James to add real quick how long you have to go see this exhibit.
I think it's through July 7th.
So that's plenty of time and a good thing to do to take your out-of-town guests to this summer. Thank you for watching Round Robin, and I hope to see you at the Charles Taylor Art Gallery.